Yo, what is up, folks? It's your boy Sports PSP in the building. Man, hope everyone is enjoying a fantastic Thursday evening. In case, if you haven't heard it, Dan Snyder, who purchased the team back in 1999, will no longer be the owner of the Washington Commanders. The purchase, I'm reading a little bit here from an article from the New York Post, Bell Fraser. The purchase of the Commanders by Josh Harris from Snyder has been approved unanimously by the NFL team owners after this week's deliberations. Harris, who is 58 years old, a private equity investor and owner of the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers and the National Hockey League's New Jersey Devils, bought the football team for a record-setting $6.05 billion, surpassing Rob Walton's $4.65 billion of the Broncos back in June of 2022. Snyder, who is also 58 years old, bought the Commanders and its stadium in Landover, Maryland in 1999 for $800 million. NFL owners convened Thursday morning for a league meeting where a vote to ratify the sale was held. The 8-owner finance committee that met Thursday afternoon from a formal vote and recommended the approval of the deal to the other owners. In an informal vote during a remote meeting Monday, the finance committee reportedly voted 7-0 in favor of recommending the approval of the deal. One member did not participate in the meeting. Harris, who is now the official owner of his hometown football team, inked a non-exclusive agreement with Snyder in April, followed by an exclusive deal in May. It's official, folks. Dan Snyder is no longer the owner. This is like one of the greatest days of my 29 years, soon to be 30 years of life. I will be 30 years old in October, folks. Yes, I look incredibly young. That's in large part because I take tremendous care of myself. I play basketball and I try to live my life one day at a time. It is amazing that Dan Snyder is gone. Now, yes, even though I do hate the fact that he is collecting $6.05 billion, but at the end of the day, the bottom line is he's gone. He's going to get his money eventually, but the fact of the matter is he is gone. Done. It's over. After 24 years of torment and ridicule. I've said it before, folks. He is literally the worst owner in football, worst owner in sports, maybe worse than Jim Dolan. His record, including the regular season and postseason, 166, 226, and 2. A 2-6 playoff record. Haven't won a playoff game going back to the year of 2005. He's gone. And it's amazing. Because I said it before, folks, and I said it again. We will never move forward with that dude as the owner. How much more could Washington fans take from Dan Snyder? The stadium, the name of the team, because before, I hate to bring it up, they were called the Washington Redskins. And Dan Snyder made it clear, we will never change the name of the team, and you could put it in caps. Then, of course, all the sexual misconduct, sexual harassment allegations There was an investigation of the team. He's gone. How much more can Washington fans stomach? And don't get me started with the stadium as well. That was a shitty ass stadium. And let's not forget the shitty ass signings that he made, including one particular, Albert Haynesworth. He's gone. I'm still having a hard time processing all of this, folks, because remember, I did the video on this. I am still processing. I'm still trying to deal with the fact that he's gone. And I've never felt any better as a Commanders fan. Since he took ownership of the team back in 1999, Washington has been dead last in the division. Everyone knows the Giants, the Cowboys, the Eagles. They're far better. They're a far better team. They're a far better product than the Commanders because of Snyder. Because of the bad, horrible decisions that he's made. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows this dude has zero business of being an owner. He's garbage. He's horrendous. There is simply no reason for him, of all people, to be an owner. To say that he is incompetent does not put it into proper context. He's delusional. He's foolish. He is a disgrace as an owner. Yo, man. Yo, man. I mean, I am still having a hard time processing this, folks. I am still having a hard time processing this. I am excited. And shit, Josh Harris, what he's doing right now to the fans, he's buying the fans beer. Hey, that's a great way to find a way to ingratiate yourself with the DC fans, the fan base there. It's a great way to try to buy in the fan base. Hell, we all should be drinking. We should. Everybody should be drinking. We should be drinking right now that we now have a new owner with Josh Harris. And not only that, with also Magic Johnson. And we know what Magic Johnson can do. We know what Magic Johnson can do. Everybody should be drinking. Everybody should be throwing a parade. Everybody should be going to, if you're in DC, if you're in Maryland or any other place near the DC area, go to a fucking ass bar and order as many drinks as you could possibly get, because this is the day to celebrate by number one, moving on from the Daniel Snyder era, and B, I don't know if I said A or B, A or one, but B or number two, you're moving in a new era with Josh Harris. And I have said it, folks, and I have said it again. The only way with this new ownership, you gotta give me your trust, man. You gotta earn my trust. You gotta prove. You gotta show to me you are fully committed to doing whatever it takes to put the best quality product for the Washington Commanders. This is a new day. This is a new era. We finally got rid of Dan Snyder. We also have an offensive coordinator who should be a head coach in the National Football League. And I'll get into it in just a sec with Eric Bieniemy, who I am very fortunate, happy, and glad he is a part of the Commanders organization because he has held the players accountable. He's given the players life. He's given some hope to that fan base and for those players. I just still can't believe it, man, folks. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. I'm just it's official. Dan Snyder's trifling, incompetent, horrendous ass is no longer the owner of the Washington Commanders. Now that he's gone, Jim Dolan of the New York Knicks has to be the worst owner. Or unless you want to argue Jimmy Haslam of the Cleveland Browns or anyone else in particular. But Dan Snyder is gone now. Collect your a little over $6 billion and go away. Goodbye and good riddance. Because Commanders fans like myself have been disgusted, embarrassed, and ashamed with the product you have put forth for almost 2.5 decades. This is unbelievable, man. This is unbelievable. This is fantastic. This is one of the greatest days in my life, folks. Shit, maybe 2023 might be the year for me. It really might be. I'm about to be 30 in a couple of months, and this is a birthday present. This is an early birthday present from the man above. Thank you. Thank you, God, that you finally got rid of Daniel Snyder. If that's the, oh my God, man. And we all knew that the NFL owners, they didn't want him anymore. They knew he was bad for business. They knew he was incompetent as hell. And of course, given the allegations that he and Roger Goodell leaked emails from John Gruden, and the NFL is also fining him $60 million. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. This is amazing. This is amazing. This may be one of the greatest days of my life. I've never thought in my wildest dreams this is actually true. I mean, folks, I've been a fan of this team far, far too long, man. From like 13, 14 years old. I never thought Dan Snyder would be gone. I've always wanted him gone. I just never thought that would actually happen. I never thought that would happen. I never thought it would actually happen. I never thought he would actually be gone. So, folks, I really want to hear what y'all have to say regarding this situation. I mean, I'm still having a hard time processing all of this, but I mean, I was too busy out on the basketball court playing basketball, trying to take some time off to myself. But when I heard the news, greatest day of my life, greatest day of my born life. Now, there may be some things that Washington they have to change as far as the name of the team. We got to get. I believe that Ron Rivera has to be let go, and I do believe that in order to take that next step up with the new ownership, you got to give Eric Bieniemy the head coaching job. I never thought this would actually happen. I don't care what anyone tells me. I've waited so long for this. I've waited so long to actually break the news about Washington, man. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. But folks, like I said, um, I will send the StreamYard link on the comment section below. If you want to hop on, get your take, add your opinion about the Commanders, feel free. I mean, this is this is a day, man. This is a new day. This is a new era. This is celebration. This is what I need. So, if y'all want to hop on, give y'all opinion about the Commander sale and etc. Now, what do I expect for the Commanders in 2023? They're going to finish last place in the division. And what I want them to do for the entire season is to tank and get Caleb Williams, the quarterback from USC. And if not Caleb Williams, then Drake May. It doesn't matter who at quarterback. I want whoever is out there. No disrespect to Sam Howell, but I just don't think Sam Howell is the long-term solution or future at quarterback. Now, if Eric Bieniemy can do some things with them and perhaps turn Sam Howell, let's say like a top 10 quarterback or 13 quarterback in the NFL, maybe. Now, we definitely need some improvement with the offensive line. We have one of the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL in Terry McLaurin. Jahan Dotson was coming off an impressive rookie season. And we have a great, excellent defense. And my boy Patrick L. Brown. Will Eric Bieniemy head coach in 2024? Patrick, my answer to that question is yes. I do believe he will be a head coach in 2024. He'll probably not get a head coaching job any place else because I am so sick and tired of people using the shit. Well, he never called plays under the Andy Reid coaching tree. But that narrative was never said when it came to Matt Nagy, Doug Peterson, whoever that Andy Reid worked with. And Eric Bieniemy, if you listen to the former players, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Jamal Charles, they have said nothing but great things about Eric Bieniemy. The only person that said something negative about Eric Bieniemy was LaShawn McCoy. Everybody has raved about Eric Bieniemy as far as a leader of men. You know, him being his own person, accountability, leadership, the play calling. I believe he can do whatever it takes to earn the trust from Josh Harris and Magic Johnson. And Magic Johnson, one thing we know about Magic Johnson, he wants to give people, particularly people of color, opportunities. You don't think he would want to see Eric Bieniemy as a head coach? You don't think he wants to improve diversity, give people of color opportunities? This may be Eric Bieniemy's best chance. This may be the best opportunity for Eric Bieniemy to be a part of. I don't know if Eric Bieniemy, if you put him somewhere else. Now, if Eric Bieniemy actually makes the offense legitimate, if he could help Sam Howell, because this will be Sam Howell's first year as a starting quarterback in the National Football League, if he could actually turn around Sam Howell, maybe that could do something. My boy Patrick, appreciate Patrick. Better upgrade the stadium and rebrand the entire organization. Get rid of every stench of Dan Snyder. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question about it. Yeah, I mean, you got to get rid of everything around that organization that reminds you of Dan Snyder, because the more you think of Dan Snyder, the more you're not going to move forward. The more you are not going to move forward if you're a Commanders fan or the NFL fan or the NFL in general. Because Dan Snyder has held this organization back. He's hold the NFL back. I just don't think. Yeah, but yeah, as far as with the stadium, Patrick, I totally agree with you. I've said it before. It's a shitty ass stadium, and it hurts me to say this as a Commanders fan. This has to be. It's literally the worst stadium in the National Football League. One of the worst stadiums in sports. It has to be up in that ballpark. You could argue. I don't know. I mean, I don't know too many stadiums that are in worse condition than the Commanders. I don't know if you can name other any other stadium that is in worse condition than the Commanders. You saw the video of Jalen Hurts as he was about to leave the stadium. You saw all the fans falling down. I mean, if you look at the stadium from top to bottom, it's horrendous. It's putrid. It's garbage. And now with Josh Harris and Magic Johnson as the owners, they're definitely going to make it more legitimate. They're definitely going to rebrand the organization. And that comes with maybe a new logo, definitely some new uniforms. I mean, if you look at the uniforms that the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings, I would love to see Washington go back to the old school uniforms that they wore in the 1960s, 70s, stuff like that. I think that would definitely help the fan base, because I don't know. I got to be honest with you folks. The current uniforms that I see currently outside of the black and black, ain't buying that. Ain't buying those uniforms. The other uniforms, they're terrible. And I get it. I mean, Commanders, they have a lot more work to do. They probably may have to change the name Commanders. Hell, if they want to go back to being the Washington football team, fine. No, Pat, I respectfully disagree with you, my man. I go with the black jerseys. The red ones, the white, the other white ones, the other uniforms. Nah, I ain't buying that. I'm sorry. I mean, to each his own. You have your opinion about it. I have mine. I rather prefer the black jerseys, in my opinion. So I just don't know, man. I just don't know about them uniforms. But yeah, with Magic Johnson and Josh Harris has to implement trust the process strategy. And if he can find some way to bring back Sam Hickey, and we saw what he did during his time in Philadelphia by tanking and getting draft picks. I mean, in 2014, the Philadelphia 76ers were able to get Joel Embiid with the 3rd overall pick. Had it not been for injuries, Joel Embiid would have been number 1. And then in 2016, he had Ben Simmons with the number 1 overall pick. So he could do whatever. So I wouldn't mind the trust the process philosophy by bringing back Sam Hickey or someone from the Sixers organization to tank, because we all know for a fact, folks, Washington is projected to finish last place in the division. And I read the report according to CBS Sports Chris Trapasso. I mentioned that on the Grid Network. Go check out the Grid Network. Go check out the latest episode of Commander's Demand, only on the Grid Network. Chris Trapasso mentioned about Malik Willis, as Washington is one of the landing destinations for him. And I wouldn't want that if I'm Washington. Malik Willis has some size. He's about, 6'1", 6'2", or something. About 215, 220. I made the mistake. I thought he was 6'3", 230, but I checked his actual size. He's more 6'1", 215. Either way, do I want Malik Willis being there for the Washington Commanders? Maybe it would be exciting because black young quarterback, black offensive coordinator who has a chance to be a head coach. And what better way for that? Black quarterback, black offensive coordinator, soon to be head coach in Chocolate City. Chocolate City. Ain't nothing better than Chocolate City, man. Patrick L. Brown. If Kyler Murray is available for a trade, do you plunge or roll the dice and take Caleb Williams or Drake May? Patrick, I got to be honest with you. I would rather take Caleb Williams or Drake May because I feel like those two have a higher ceiling at this point than Kyler. If you go back to the latest the last few episodes I did on the Sports PSP podcast, I mentioned that one of the teams that Kyler Murray should be traded to is the Atlanta Falcons. I would like to see Kyler Murray in the ATL to play with Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and also Bijan Robinson, who the Falcons drafted with the 8th overall pick. I think the ATL, that fan base there, they need a quarterback. I'm not sure on Desmond Ridder, but we'll see. And if there's any quarterback that can bring that type of excitement to the ATL fan base, and thinking of the good old days of Mike Vick during his time in Atlanta, outside of Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields, I can't think of a better quarterback than Kyler Murray. Would I love to see Kyler Murray with the Commanders? Yes. But I have concerns about the size, of course. I have concerns about his durability. I've got concerns about his maturity and stuff. Maybe Eric Bieniemy can talk some sense into Kyler and tell him, look, man, you have tremendous amount of talent, but in order for you to get where you want to go, Kyler, you're going to have to put in a lot of work. And there have been times Kyler's work ethic has been questioned in the past. Remember, The Cardinals, before they gave Kyler Murray that contract, they put an independent study clause in his contract, which required him to study 4 hours outside the job. Now, it was removed eventually, but no one is going to forget that. And anytime, whenever Kyler Murray throws an incompletion, throws a bad pass that leads to either an incompletion or an interception or a fumble, they're going to say he's probably spending too much time on Call of Duty, spending too much time playing video games rather than watching film, rather than studying, rather than doing all the requisite things he needs to do just in order for him to be prepared. They're going to ask Kyler Murray those types of questions. So I would rather take Caleb Williams or Drake May if I am the Washington Commanders, if I have the number 1, number 2, or number 3 pick in a draft. Because look, we drafted Chase Young 2nd overall. We could have drafted Justin Herbert or Tua Tagovailoa. We didn't do that. We decided to continue with Dwayne Haskins Jr., God rest his soul. And Chase Young, unless he comes back and resembles into being the player he was in his rookie season, I hate to say it, we made a mistake. But folks, I have a guest on the show, my boy Leaf. Leaf, man, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I heard the news. Dan Snyder's out.
Yep.
This is the beginning of a new era in Washington. For the Commanders. I think the only way to go is the up. Um, it's crazy, man, because like we're looking at that team, they've always been top in like possession, like time of possession. Like they've been one of them teams that like can control the ball, but they didn't really have like all the pieces in place and whatever. But I think for the years foregone years they should have the pieces in place. I wanted to speak more about the running back issue and Saquon Barkley being at the forefront of the running backs possibly seeing a new payday, possibly. And the reason why I wanted to speak on it because I was on another channel with a couple of Giants fans, and we all kind of agreed that Saquon Barkley is going to be the bridge to the new to basically the new market for running backs. If this holdout or whatever this is that he's gonna pull, if this doesn't work in his favor, this is going to be one of those times where a lot of running backs are going to be disposable. You know, you're going to have teams with running quarterbacks and a lot of dual threat quarterbacks that's going to be basically doing what they do. Like, I mean, obviously for more money, but double a job. You know what I'm saying? Like basically a 2-for-1 type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but in the case of Saquon Barkley, in the case of the NFL, I will say this: I think the NFL is going to receive a lot of backlash if Christian McCaffrey is the last highest paid running back. I think they're going to receive a lot of backlash and a lot of controversy and a lot of pushback from that by fans and people online and stuff like that, social media and everybody that watches. But Saquon Barkley, I think if this does work, the type of running backs that you're going to be looking for is the guys that basically do threats, could catch out of the backfield, could run a little routes, block, basically a jack of all trades at the running back position. And when you
Mm-hmm.
got quarterbacks like Daniel Jones, man, you need these type of running backs. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
to me, I strongly believe that this thing has to work in order for the running backs to see better days as far as paydays. Man, you got corners getting $20. You got offensive linemen getting 20 M's. You got defensive linemen getting 20 M's. You got linebackers getting 20 M's. You got quarterbacks playing into their mid 30s and late 40s. So the running back position is basically kind of looking disposable. Like if this doesn't work, you're gonna see a lot of fifth and sixth round running backs uh, uh basically on top teams looking for a new payday, and then by the time they look for a new payday, they're gonna be out.
Mm. Before I let you go hop on, Leaf. My boy Patrick L. Brown, he said Arizona is a joke. They've become Washington 2.0. Sadly, he was asking me that if Arizona thinks about trading Kyler Murray to Washington, if you had a choice, should you trade Kyler Murray to Washington, or should you just tank the rest of the season to get Caleb Williams or Drake May? I'd rather tank the rest of the season and get one of those two quarterbacks because I believe they have a higher ceiling moving forward than Kyler. Kyler, I've said it before. I think the best team that he should be traded to is Atlanta. And you've even said if they get a Kyler Murray in Atlanta, this could elevate their chances as far as coming out the NFC.
Yes, absolutely, and especially this year. But I like if that happens anytime within these next couple of weeks, then Atlanta is probably looking at one of the teams that's going to be favorites to top the NFC. But I would have to agree with you on keeping Kyler and just I guess waiting for the draft picks and getting basically I guess basically tanking. But the thing is, are you going to tank with Kyler Murray in the lineup,
Mm.
or are you going to tank like getting rid of Kyler Murray and then make it like, okay, let's make it look a little bit formidable because we got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, basically for a bag of Lays. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Bag of cookies.
yeah. Basically, that's basically what they got rid of him for. So I don't know, man. Like, I guess if you Arizona, if you going all in on the pick, then go in all in on the pick. I mean, it's not like it's the NBA lottery. You could just go all in on the pick. You lose the most games,
All
and
right.
you basically got the pick. So I mean, either
All
way
right.
they go, they draft pick.
All right. And Patrick had one more comment, and this is what you alluded to, Leaf, about the running back. He said, I touched on the running back situation during my new episode of Chaotic. Go check that out. Patrick does a great job on the Grid Network. The mental health aspect of where their role is moving forward. I think basically he was talking about the amount of punishment running backs face, the mental health. I just don't know, Leaf. I mean, it's unfortunate with the running backs and how they're devalued nowadays. It doesn't even matter if they put up great numbers or they remain available. It just seems like it's just easy nowadays to replace running backs and get somebody in the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever round it may be, or free agency. So the Giants, they better take care of Saquon. And if they
Yes.
don't, then Daniel Jones is going to have to elevate his play. He's going to have to elevate his play because now he got his 4-year, $160 million contract. So now that he got his contract, he better ball. He better play like he was drafted. And by the way, he was drafted with the 6th overall pick back in the 2019 NFL draft.
Right.
So he has no other choice but to ball. And Tony Pollard, he's okay with the franchise tag at $10.5 million. He's fine with that. Josh Jacobs, on the other hand, not so much. Same with Saquon Barkley. So let's talk a little bit more about the Commanders. Now that Daniel Snyder is gone, I've told you, Leaf. I've said he's the worst owner in sports. I think he's right up there, if not worse, than James Dolan of the New York Knicks. He's been an embarrassment. He's been a shit show. Washington has been a shitty ass organization from the moment he stepped on. He is 160. He is horrible as an owner. His record as an owner is 166 and 226 and 2, counting regular season and postseason. Washington hasn't won a playoff game since 2005. 2005. And now with this new ownership and Josh Harris, who is the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, remember Magic Johnson there as well. What do you think Washington should do?
I think Washington, they clearly should have, obviously you touched on Dwayne Haskins. I honestly, rest in peace. Honestly,
Rest of
think
soul, yeah.
thought you got rest so I honestly thought holding on to him I think I had Colt McCoy at one point. I think like if I'm trying to just remember that like y'all team in the past like decade, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, realistically, the moment Kirk Cousins walked out the door, like it was like, yo,
Mm.
what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like the front office was just getting rid of guys, packaging guys up, moving them out, packaging guys up, moving them out, running back after running back, wide out after wide out. Like it was just a mess. I think like anywhere they could go, they got to go up. They got to go up in the right direction. But I mean, listen, it could be worse. You could be the 0-16 Lions. It's not
I
like
wouldn't
y'all the
mind
only.
that though. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
mind. No, 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 Leaf. I wouldn't mind that because considering that it's Josh Harris who owns the Philadelphia 76ers,
yeah.
I've said it before, man. Trust the process. Tank the rest of the season to try to get a top pick, man.
Oh my God. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Listen,
Leaf, I'm desperate, man. Can you imagine how much shit I've been through as a Commanders fan? I'm about to be
look,
30 in a couple of months.
I put it to you this way. Listen. I put a listen. It is it is baffling that the trust the process I guess tag or quote has been associated with the Philadelphia 76ers, and for them to have the success pending the trust the process logo is just been mediocre at best. So, but I mean, but if you want to suffer for mediocrity, I understand. Listen, you're desperate for the new draft, and everybody is worried about the new draft and getting that top pick and everything. And listen, it's a lot of things at stake. The thing is, building an NFL team it's not a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park, man. Like it's position to position, it's coaching staff, it's schemes. It's a whole lot of things that go into this. So this is going to be a process, you know, because you still got the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants. The Eagles don't look like they're going anywhere. The Cowboys is as much as annoying as their fan base is, it doesn't look like they're going to be going anywhere. I mean, they're going to have a top defense, and the Giants, they could strike lightning in a bottle. They've done it twice before. You know, they're the perfect definition of a broken clock is right at least 2 times a day. So
Mhm.
Washington is sort of like the odd team out. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, uh, it's going to be a process. I wouldn't really know exactly where to start. I mean, the tanking idea that you had, it's not a bad idea. I mean, you could actually get something for tanking in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
mean, listen, this is going to be a process. This is going to be a big process. Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, man. Listen, listen. Here we go. You
Well,
wanted to be on this, man. You wanted to own the football team. Listen, here we go.
well, I'm happy for whatever it takes, Leaf. And I know that Washington is not going to be number one. It's going to take a while,
Absolutely, absolutely.
because Dallas is better, the Eagles are better, the Giants are better. So at this point, Washington is last place. The only reason why I said they should tank the rest of the season to get draft picks, Leaf, because Washington, we're one of those teams. We win enough games not to get a top draft pick, but we don't win enough games to make the playoffs.
That's a
So
fact. That is
yeah,
a fact. You could listen. That is probably the most honest Washington fan statement I could think of because the thing is, y'all would win like a game. Y'all don't really go on like big losing streaks. Y'all would go on a winning streak that would equal the losing streak, and then go on a losing streak that would equal the winning streak, and then mess around and be like the middle of the pack team. Because listen, outside of last year, the NFC East always comes down to the last week. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those divisions where it's like, hey, yo, Dallas was supposed to. Oh no, Dallas is gonna shit the bed. Hey, yo, the Giants was supposed. No, nope, the Giants is gonna shit the bed. Oh, then Philly was supposed to. Oh no, the Philly, and then here you guys come in that last week of divisional game, y'all would have it on the road. Y'all would always be the underdogs. like for years. This went on for like at least the last 15 years. It definitely went on in the Kirk Cousins years when y'all messed around and made the playoffs and messed around and won the division, and then you get a home game against a team like, say, the Green Bay Packers and then lose the home game again. Listen, it's a lot of things. I understand. You absolutely right. Y'all win enough games not to make the playoffs.
Exactly.
And don't lose enough games. Oh man, that is one of those teams where they like, all right.
I'm being honest.
You're right. You know what? Yeah, I think y'all always confuse yourselves of when y'all want to compete. It'd be like, hey, yo, we supposed to get a draft pick, right? No, we're not. All right, we competing this week. All right, cool. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
There we
Commanders, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right, let me read some of these comments right here. My boy Clutch Talks NFL Sunday Wake Up. My boy Ryan, go check out his podcast every Sunday morning on the Grit Network. He said this is a good day for Washington. Couldn't agree more. He also said tank for Caleb Williams or Drake May. He also said, what if Kyle Shanahan would stay to be the head coach of the Commanders? I mean, Ryan, I wouldn't mind Kyle Shanahan, but Eric Bieniemy, I mean, he comes from the Andy Reid coaching tree, and this is a dude that has been often been said he doesn't call plays. You know, he's not good with interviews. But contrary to what I've heard, the players who've played with him, they like what Eric Bieniemy does as far as holding players accountable. They say he really does call some plays. Jahan Dotson, other players around the organization, the Commanders, they said they love what he is doing. And he's giving nothing but Sam Howell kudos and praise as far as his work ethic, preparation, and talent. And then Patrick said Alex Smith was serviceable until that gruesome leg injury.
Oh man. Oh
he was,
he was. You know what? They had a like a ESPN 60 Minutes for that, and they said if that injury happened on like a Army Forces field, it would have been his leg would have been amputated.
Yeah,
like would have been literally amputated right then and there. But there's no way the medic is letting that come off the battlefield, and like let alone the football field they come off of. But like that, the leg is getting amputated right then and there. It was horrible. Like one of the I say top 3, one of the worst injuries I've seen outside of the Sean Livingston injury, and I've seen that.
Right.
Yeah.
Ryan continues, ain't going nowhere without a quarterback. Yeah, it's a quarterback era. Good D lineman, solid wide receiver group. That's what Washington has. All y'all need is a quarterback and keep building the offensive line. Patrick continues, desperate times, desperate measures. This will be trial and error for the new ownership. Will patience get the best of everyone? Well, we have to be patient, Patrick. That's the only way. We have to give the new ownership the benefit of the doubt. As Leaf and I were talking, it's going to take them a long time in order for them to build a formula that is conducive to help the Commanders get to what we and most Commander fans would want them to see. So we got to wait. Yes, I agree, Ryan. Tank, give EB a chance. Yeah, I want to give Eric Bieniemy a chance. Even though I don't know how you feel, Leaf, I feel like the real reason why Eric Bieniemy was kept out of a head coaching job because of the color of his skin. Because I've heard Doug Peterson, Matt Nagy, John Harbaugh, I'd never heard any of them said were they ever accused of calling plays. But they used that with Eric Bieniemy, and plus they also tried to tarnish his character by bringing up, well, he doesn't interview well and stuff like that. What are your thoughts about that? Leaf, I think you're lagging.
Oh, damn. Am I still lagging?
No, you're good now. Go ahead.
All right, my bad. I think the NFL is still holding on to like that stigma, you know what I'm saying, about like at least about the coaches. They can't remember they used to do it to the black quarterbacks. They can't do it anymore because now Pat Mahomes is basically the face. So they can't do it anymore now. Like now that Brady is gone, Pat Mahomes is basically the face. So they can't do it no more to the black quarterbacks. So now they need a new target.
And the evolution of other black quarterbacks.
Yeah. So the best target is the black coaches. that's the best target. So now a black coach has to come around and basically do what Andy Reid is basically doing. Getting to, and championship game after championship game, and basically prove everybody wrong. Once that happens, then that stigma is gonna stop. I mean, at least in their eyes. But Eric Bieniemy, I don't know too much about Eric Bieniemy. I only knew about that they was trying to hold him back. That's all. That's all I really know. But hopefully, listen, he's on the up and up. When you get a team like this that's continuing to rise, new ownership, they're gonna have a whole bunch of new. Everything is gonna be new. Coming as this goes along, you have to keep something as your core in place and put something around it. You can't just switch it up every time you get a losing season. That's what teams do. They switch it up every time they get like a 1 to 2 losing seasons, and then all right, yo, we need a new this. All right, we need a new that. All right, we need this new. No, you can't do that. You gotta stay. You gotta keeping composed and keep doing what you're doing. The worst thing that can happen to him is if you guys are on the rise and he ends up getting a Tony Dungy treatment that he got
Mm. Mm.
team, and then Gruden came in and got the Super Bowl, and then Tony Dungy had to get a Super Bowl over in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and John Gruden, I felt like John Gruden definitely benefited of Tony Dungy's team because he didn't develop, he didn't build that team. That was Tony Dungy from start up.
He didn't just benefit from the team. He benefited from the Super Bowl opponents. He played the same team that he was coaching a year ago.
Right. And do you remember the year before that they got screwed in the tuck rule game?
Yes, they did. They got screwed, and that started this whole nonsense with Brady and the New England Patriots and all of this garbage, man. And now seven Super Bowls later, now okay, yeah, that's what started the whole garbage. Yes, I do. I remember that vividly. That is the call that literally NFL fans, Raider fans, and definitely will remember for as long as they live. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, definitely. But Eric Bieniemy, man, listen, all praises to him. I hope everything goes well for this organization. I mean, I'm saying that they not even my team, man. I got y'all finishing better than I got Washington finishing way better than we finishing this year, bro. I don't.
No. Come on, Leave. You being too hard on your Packers
No,
because of the quarterback.
Here's the thing. Matt LaFleur is not that great of a play caller, and it's gonna show, bro. Like, because the thing is, I don't think it's gonna be more so about Jordan Love not being able to do anything. It's gonna be more so about the positions. Like, he puts the best possible offensive play calling on the field, because everything is probably gonna start and end with Aaron Jones, and then Jordan Love is probably going to get like the roll out 5 yards, roll out 5 yards to the left, roll out 5 yards to the right. I can see him running maybe a pistol formation. If we still running the same bullshit nickel defense that we've been running for years on 3rd and long, we are going to get torched. Our defense has been running that for years. We haven't been good at it, bro, since Charles Woodson left. And Clay Matthews had that 1 year when he went off, and then we lost to the Giants in the playoffs, and we went 15-1, and then the Giants won another damn Super Bowl against the Patriots. So we haven't been good since that time.
But here's why I think LaFleur. I think LaFleur is a better play caller than you give him credit for. I think, yes, there are going to be concerns with Jordan Love. This will be his first year as the starter, but you still have the comparable pieces. You still have Aaron Jones. You still have A.J. Dillon, ground and pound. You still have Christian Watson, who later in the season improved. I mean, look at the Dallas game. You look at some of the other games in which he played last season, and he looked really solid. I mean, Romeo Doubs. So, I mean, you did lose that tight end. I think it was Tunton, right? He's no longer there. Yeah,
he no longer there.
Yeah, he's no longer. I don't think he's no longer there anymore. So when you look at the Packers, I think I have Detroit winning the division. I think you could possibly finish 2nd or 3rd because I think
I don't think we're better than Chicago.
Really?
I don't think we're better than Chicago. No.
Oh wow.
I just don't. I like, and it pains me to say it. Like, I think Chicago's thing is they got better players at better positions. What they're gonna be better at is making plays on like when least expected. You know, like they're gonna have some type of out of the blue sky running game that's gonna work for them in certain situations with it. Detroit is one of those risky teams. They like TJ McConnell. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll just go for it, all right, they just go for the gusto just to go for the gusto. You know what I'm saying? So the Detroit that they have known to bite themselves in the ass, man, from time to time. But Detroit could definitely finish first in the division. Minnesota could have another one of them miracle whip years where Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson are the best quarterback wide receiver, one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos. They looking like it for like the first 6 or 7 weeks, and then they have enough wins to basically be shit for the rest of the season after Thanksgiving, and then okay, they're in the playoffs. They did a playoff game, and then they just think it up.
All right.
So I don't know, man. I don't think we're better than the Bears. I think we're better than Minnesota. I don't think we're better than the Bears.
All right. And besides too, like with Minnesota, I love Roundup Dev, but he's probably done with Kirk Cousins. He wants to move on from Kirk Cousins.
I think he is too. I think he is too. I think the thing about Kirk Cousins is he'll fall in love with like one of those dynamic targets. You know what I'm saying? Like he seems like that type of quarterback. And I seen it with Kyle Rudolph. Well, because Kyle Rudolph got most of the targets and most of the touches down the stretch of their games when he first got there. And then Justin Jefferson came in and basically like turned himself into a top 3 wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? So if you could turn yourself into a top 3 wide receiver with Kirk Cousins, man, you hella good, so.
Okay. Let's read a little bit of these last comments. Kyle got the 49ers competing every year. Again, I wouldn't mind Kyle Shanahan being the head coach, but I don't think San Francisco letting him go.
The 49ers got the 49ers competing every year. They defense got them competing every year, bro. They was doing that with Jim Harbaugh. Come on, bro.
Right. I was watching, Patrick said, I was watching that particular game when Alex went down. He was referring to the Houston Texans, Washington game. It was the same injury that ended Joe Theismann's career in Washington.
Yes, it was. It was. Lawrence.
Thank God Alex Smith is still is alive, because I heard he took like how many surgeries? Like 20 plus surgeries?
I think like close to it. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a lot of around the clock type of things going on with it, because they had so many different specialists come look at it and basically take their crack at it, because it was once in a one of those roundabout casts and whatever, where he needed help, like getting up, standing, and helping him walking again, and it was a whole bunch of things, man. Like that E60 is incredible, man. Alex Smith, I don't give him too much credit as like a quarterback, but in terms of like he was a warrior, bro. Like on the field, man.
He was.
Yes, he was.
He was. My boy Dev, he tweeted, "Yo, appreciate it, Dev." Patrick said Detroit will likely win the division. They will host a playoff game and put up a good fight in round 2. Leave. Let's talk a little bit more about the NFC North. A lot of people, like myself, have Detroit winning the division. I thought Jared Goff had a really good season last year. He had over 4,000 yards, threw for 20, almost 30 touchdown passes, only had single-digit interceptions. Of course, I know you hate this. They ended your opportunity to make the playoffs last year in the season finale game. How much do you think Detroit has a chance of not only winning the division, but who knows, might come out the NFC?
I think listen, the way that, first off, before I answer that question, I would like to just say I never thought Jared Goff was trash. I thought Jared Goff was a hell of a good quarterback. That Rams team that went to the Super Bowl, wasn't they one of the top offenses ever?
They were like second. They were second in the NFL in offense behind Kansas City.
Yeah. So my thing is like, in terms of offensive rating, I never thought Jared Goff was terrible. That's first and foremost. And as far as Detroit, even last year they started to scare people. When they were basically an all or nothing type of team, so they know how to play with their backs against the wall. My problem is that the only way they know how to play? Do they know how to seize the opportunity? Do they know how to understand? Okay, yo, we have an advantage. Yo, let's do this, that, and the third on the field because they know how to surprise teams, and that's what they did last year, man. That run that they had, around the second half of the season, around towards the Thanksgiving, all the way up to maybe like the second or third last week in the league, where the magic basically kind of ran out. I mean, other than that, that basically shows you that team has some fight. Who's the rookie that they had, Hutchinson? He was coming along late in the season. Had it not been for Sauce, he probably would have got defensive rookie of the year. In my opinion, had it not been for Sauce, because he was having a damn good second half of the season. He was looking like one of the best defensive players, best defensive linemen in the league. So with Jared Goff, with the rest of their pieces, with the play calling, I think that, listen, sky's the limit for them. I mean,
All
because
right.
we ain't like we gonna stand in their way with the shipment we got going on. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
Patrick said Alex Smith went through hell and back just to get on the field. It was a gruesome injury, and he lived to tell about it. No question about it. Patrick also said Detroit's biggest problem, yeah, there was their defense. They started 1-7, and in the last 10 games, they finished 8-2 in the second half. If they won against Seattle, they're in the playoffs. Fix the defense, and they'll be fine. Yeah, their biggest problem has been their defense, but offensively, they had a really good season. I think the reason why people were done with Jared Goff leave, because remember, after the 2020 season, the Rams, they traded 2 first round picks, a third round pick, and Jared Goff to Detroit for Matthew Stafford because
Right.
they thought Stafford would help them get to and win a Super Bowl than Jared Goff. And Stafford validated that in his
Hmm.
first year with the Rams.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. I'm actually finding out. I'm reading a little bit here from this article from. It says it right here. This is from Paul Kasabian. I think it's from Bleacher Reports or the Associated Press. There is an opportunity. There's a pretty good chance that the Commanders will actually change the name after the Dan Snyder sale. Now it's interesting. This is a quote right here. I'm reading from Van Natta, who Don Van Natta Jr. He went on the Rich Eisen show. This is his exact quote. He said, "I think so. Yes, I think there's a pretty good chance of that to erase any part of the Snyder legacy to have a complete do-over. I would not be surprised at all, Rich, to see a name change and a complete rebranding." So, Leaf, about the Commanders, do you what name should they be called? Because of course, they can't be the name what they used to be. And previously, they were the Washington football team. I also said they need to come up with a new logo, new designs for the organization. What do you think?
Um, I would think so too. I don't really have a name per se. Washington. I didn't really have a problem with the Washington football team, but uh, the Commanders it seems bland to me. Obviously, like I didn't. In terms of the colors and the logo, obviously they're probably going to keep the Washington, the W, or like maybe a DC logo. Man, I mean,
They're going to keep
who
the
kn-
colors. They're going to keep the burgundy and gold.
I don't know, man. Listen, they might be known as the DC Snipers, man. For like,
No.
I don't know, bro. Listen, who knows, man? Like, I don't know how far they're gonna go with it.
I don't think that fan base would approve of changing the colors. I mean, you keep the colors, but you can change something else.
Yeah. I think that fan base. I mean, I don't think the Hogs are there anymore. So I mean, the fan
No.
base is kind of like, yeah, they kind of fairly on the up and up new generation type side, man, and then looking for it's like this whole thing is gonna be the new with Washington. In terms of NFL football, man, like it's gonna be the new. You got new owner. You're gonna get a new team real soon. Probably gonna get new GMs to come around and new players and everything and a new culture. Like it's gonna be a whole lot of new over there, man. So
Yeah.
I mean, just look, as a Washington fan, listen, I can't say nothing, man. I'm a Packer fan, man. Listen, I could go to Wisconsin and buy a stock in a team right now if I wanted to. The team is community owned, so and it's the only community owned team in sports. So like the thing is, I couldn't really say. I don't know, man. Like this is gonna be one of those things that is going to be a big process. The Kansas City Chiefs took a long time to win a championship, man.
Yeah.
Took a long time, man. They've been in the league, man, since the '60s. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, who knows, man?
Yeah.
Now they got a run going with arguably one of the best quarterback talents in NFL history that we think we ever seen in terms of talent or mix of talent and the resume to go along with it. So, I mean, who knows, man?
I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
Harris and Magic, what they have to do is they have to listen in order to help change. They have to surround themselves with people who will tell them what they need to know, not what
yes,
they want to hear. Because if
yeah.
you continuously surround yourself with yes men, then you're not going to
Yes,
go far.
exactly. That is a definite fact, and there's been a lot of that going on with owners come from, especially the owners that come from different sports and take over and other sports and other teams as well, man. Like so, you definitely got to put the right people in place, man. No more of them yes men, no more of them simple minded or one answer guys. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do the right thing, put the right people in place, put the right strategies in place. Make sure they know to make sure they handle the football side. You handle the ownership side and the money. Then everything should go straight, man. Like it's one hand wash the other. So
All right.
hopefully it'll be done.
My boy Patrick, he said if golf plays consistent from week 1 through week 18, he's an under the radar MVP. No, I wouldn't rule that out. It sounds far fetched, but the Lions are now the most trending team into 2023. I
They're
wouldn't.
not.
They're not.
They're not. And one of the reasons why is because their lineage, their lineage has always been, it's the Lions. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lions is one of the teams that have been around for so long and still hasn't been a part of the Super Bowl, along with the Browns. So, man, it's going to be an up and up process. And the thing is, wanted to touch on that. Listen, there will probably be a day where all of like the other teams that haven't been in the Super Bowl will probably make the Super Bowl within the next 20 to 25 years.
Mm, hmm And Patrick also said Washington Red Tails to pay homage to the Tuskegee Airmen.
Hmm. That don't sound too bad, I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess something that relates to Washington. Maybe a name that would relate
Commanders
to.
damn sure ain't nothing related to
Yeah,
Washington.
yeah,
That sounds like a
Commanders. Yeah,
soccer team.
Commanders was on the fly. Yeah, that definitely would sound like a soccer team. But
Honestly, once they came up with that name, I'm like, go back to being the Washington football team.
listen, listen. The Red Tails, huh, everybody got the Nationals, I guess, man. The Capitals and I guess what the Stars, I guess. I don't know, man. With the 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 Washington districts or something. I don't know, man. I
Something
couldn't
like
even.
that.
Yeah, something like that.
Leave, I'm actually glad that you're here and I'm actually glad that Patrick is talking, and this is about him and his Cowboys. I was watching I Am Athlete with Brandon Marshall, Ashley Nicole Moss, and they were doing a top 5 most annoying fan bases out there. So when I think most annoying fan bases out there, the Dallas Cowboys, they're right up there. I think they're one. There's also the Knicks fan base. I
Mm.
also think that the Eagles fan base is right up there as well.
Somebody. You know what? not to cut you off, but like I think somebody was saying, bro, like if you had to make it like a top 5 annoying fan bases, a major Philadelphia team has to be in that fan base. Like it has to be. But like the thing is, I've been around. Like I've been to some Sixers games, man. Like I ain't gonna lie, they a funny group. I think the Philly fans are just more demanding in terms of like voicing their opinions of like the way they, because we talked about the way that they treated Donovan McNabb as opposed to the way that they treated Carson Wentz. So you kind of get the picture with that one. But yeah, I get where you going with this, man. If the Eagles might be, yeah, they might. Maybe not so now that they got a championship, but they might be.
No question about it. But Philly fans, they're crazy sometimes. There's no question about that. And Patrick said Ashley Nicole Moss is a Cowboys fan as well. She's also a Knicks fan as well, and I love her work. But at the same time, when it comes to Cowboys fans, other than Pat and Ryan, they're delusional. They're delusional, Leaf, and you can't argue that for a quick second. They are the most delusional fan base out there because they act like every single year is their year, and whenever things go right, they act like this is the year we're gonna win the Super Bowl. And when things go wrong, they blame the coaches, they blame the players, but I don't hear any blame when it comes to Jerry Jones. It seems like Jerry Jones is just sitting back and nothing happened. But the problem is Jerry's the owner and he's also the general manager. He makes the football decisions. He has final
Right.
say. So I feel like the fans, they should hold Jerry Jones more accountable.
They should definitely hold Jerry Jones to the fire. For sure. What was okay? So who you got? You got Dallas,
I got
Knicks,
Dallas, Knicks, Philly fans.
you got the Eagles, right?
I got Eagles. I actually got Boston fans. Boston fans are right up there.
Celtics.
Boston in general, Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots. I mean, they crazy too, though.
Okay, yeah. I would
And
have. I've
Boston,
been I've been to Boston, bro. Like so, yeah. That definitely. I wouldn't disagree with you with that, but
and
yeah.
Boston. I mean, Leaf. Maybe when it comes to racism, I don't know too many. Even Bill Russell. He said he didn't feel comfortable being in Boston because of that
Oh
fan
no
base.
no no! They treated them bad in Boston. Check
Right.
this out. I've been to Boston. I've been to downtown Boston with a Yankee cap on. I didn't know no better. Like, yo, listen, I remember it just like it was yesterday. It was, I think it was senior year of high school. My senior year of high school might be in '05. We was going. I think it was me, couple of friends. They was like, "Yo, Leaf, yo, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Yo, bro, it's my only hat, bro. I'm not going nowhere. I'm out of man. Yo, Mike, because my hair was all over the place or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, I get off the damn thing, yo. All I hear is it's a effing Yankee. I was like, oh shit. They was like, yo, Leaf, go back to the train station. I'm like, oh shit. Yo, that was listen. First and only time I've been in Boston was 2005. We was out there for like a day, and then we came back. That's the first and only time I ever been to downtown Boston, at Boston in general, but like in the heart of Boston, like the Celtics and the Red Sox was downtown. First time and only time I ever been to Boston, bro. But all right, so you got, let's see who you got. You got Cowboys, Knicks,
Yeah.
you got
Cowboys, Knicks.
Eagles,
Yeah.
you got
Boston
Boston fans in
fans.
general, and who else you got?
Utah.
Utah,
They
Utah Jazz.
they fan base is crazy too, man. Racist too.
Uh, I wasn't gonna put Utah out there. I'm like, my thing is like Utah's.
Or Lakers. I mean, if you want to say Lakers.
Yeah, obviously, but I mean, Lakers fans are split up into 3 different groups. You got real Laker fans, you got the Kobe fans, and then you got the LeBron lovers. That like they split up into groups of 3. So Knicks fans are not necessarily annoying, more that they're just like hilarious. They're just more on the delusional side than anything. I don't really think that's annoying because they haven't done a lot of winning. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
so
I
they're
just hate
really,
when they say the Bing Bong and all that other stuff.
yeah, definitely. But Cowboys fans are definitely top the list.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I think it's more fans of individual players that are annoying. I think it's more fans of like individual play. Like the Curry Nation is very annoying. It's very annoying. If you're on the internet, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, Twitter, that they can be very annoying. But like Dub Nation, like that's not even Dub Nation. That is the Curry Nation. It's not. It's not the Dub Nation. It's the Curry Nation, bro.
I
Like,
think LeBron fans are more crazy than Curry
I
fans.
mean, obviously, but the Curry fans, man, like they're more created as long as Steph is winning. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing is, you're not gonna hear from them, bro. Like if the Warriors are clearly in the dump. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So the thing is, they're gonna shut the f up. Like LeBron fans, they're gonna show out. I guess KD really doesn't have a fan base, man, because he's online debating against everybody. But I would definitely say that Cowboys fans definitely lead the pack as a fan of teams. Um, Boston fans, man, Boston and Philly fans, they could be like. See, the thing is, Boston, New York, and Philly fans, man, like of those teams, man, it's one of the reasons why I'm proud that the Nets is in Brooklyn because I could just claim Brooklyn. Everybody would say that I'm from you from New York? No, I'm from Brooklyn. No, like because I could claim Brooklyn is the actual city for those that don't know. So
Okay. Okay.
the thing is, like, I could distance myself from everything else in New York so easily. So I'm not a Giants or a Jets fan because the Packers are clearly better than them. That I know, like historically better than them. That's why.
All
So
right.
the fact that the Nets are in Brooklyn, I could get to support something that stays home, and I could just call it the Brooklyn Nets. So that's why I support the Brooklyn Nets. They the only team in the tri-state area that I support. Other than that, no.
All right.
Buffalo's not the tri-state area. That's Metro. That's metropolitan.
Yeah, that's
So
Metropolitan.
yeah. So
Patrick said, can't forget about Barry and Cowboys can fan along with Mike Guido. Oh, yeah, I forgot about them and Barry and all of them. They're delusional as hell when it
49ers
comes to the
fans, man, they
Cowboys.
they they can be the Niners fans. They could be they not too far from the Cowboys fans because you got to remember their last Super Bowl was around the same time as the Cowboys was. They one of those teams, bro. Like they on the cusp, but they can never really get over the hump as far as this millennium goes. So now that they start winning, now you're gonna hear from them again, and then once they get back to their losing ways, then you're not gonna hear from them anymore. So, I mean, it's a lot of NFL based fan based teams, man. Like this Steelers fans could be annoying, obviously. Yeah, I mean, we've been around.
Jay fan, no, Jay is the perfect example.
Yes, we've been around that. Who else? What's another group of fans? Bears fans are funny. That's another lineage. That's another lineage group. Giants fans are funny. That's another. Jets fans. I just think they're stuck in the dark. They're more in the dark about things. Um, what's another good like historic team? I mean, Packers fans are not really. We're not annoying at all. We just quiet.
No, they're not annoying. I think they're diehard and loyal. Let me also read some of these comments right here from Patrick. The day Jerry Jones steps down as GM, I'm having a bottle of red wine and I don't even drink. When is the last time you ever drank, Patrick? Okay, and first of all, ain't just GM owner. At some point, once
Yes.
Jerry either retires or whatever, you're not winning anything. I mean, Stephen Jones, maybe. I mean, he did try to talk Jerry out of drafting Johnny Manziel and going forward with Zach Martin, and that was the right choice because Zach Martin, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I
Yes,
believe
he
he's going to be in
is.
the Hall of Fame. One of the preeminent guards we have, perennial Pro Bowl, All Pro. There's the situation regarding his contract. His Madden rating is now at 99 overall, deservedly so. Patrick had this to say about you, Leaf. Leaf made the mistake of wearing Yankees attire in enemy territory. As a Cowboys fan, I will never visit the Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. Smart
Oh
choice.
yeah, obviously, yeah. But like the thing is, I'll like when I wore a Yankee cap. The story about that when I wore a Yankee cap. Yankee caps was all that they sold at the time over like in the area, because we wasn't buying stuff off online yet. You know what I'm saying? So everybody in Brooklyn had a Yankee cap. Most like people in the boroughs. So I had one. I just wore it most of the time. I had my white tee, everything, Nikes, all that. We just like during that day, we like I went to school maybe like 2 hour, couple hours, and then we went to Boston. Right. It was I think it was a Friday. We went to Boston that day, and we came home that night. We because we took the Amtrak. We took the Amtrak to Boston, and we went home, came back home that night. Well, so I think Amtrak was maybe like 3 hours from New York. So then when we got out there, nobody was telling me that we was going downtown Boston. I was just like, yo, my aunt tell me where you was going. It's like, yo, bro, I said we going to Boston. You're not supposed to wear nothing Yankee. I'm like, all right, bro. I know that now, but I haven't been to Boston since. That was 2005, I believe. That was almost 20 years ago, bro. Like, but yeah,
Uh,
man.
Pat said Niners have been to 2 Super Bowls in the last decade. Dallas hasn't been one since 1995. So, I
Yeah,
mean, I think he was making his argument on why 49ers fans feel the way that they feel, but they failed to capture those 2 Super Bowls. Dallas, like I said, folks, you ain't winning anything with Jerry Jones. You're not. You're not. Dak Prescott also said that he's not going to throw 10 interceptions this season. We shall see.
huh?
No, he said he won't throw 10 interceptions.
You know what the crazy thing is? The last time he didn't throw 10 interceptions, Ezekiel Elliott got the ball a lot. That's what had happened. But Dak was looking like the dude that gave Herschel Walker the ball when he was running the foosball for them back in the 80s. That's what he was looking like. That's what Dak was.
Mhm.
Basically, bro. Like so that Dak wasn't like the thing is, I remember when him and Ezekiel Elliott first came in and they got the jobs. All Dak had to do was hand the ball off to Zeke and get out of the way.
He was the
Zeke was
game manager at
dominant,
that
bro.
point.
Zeke was dominant his first couple of years. He was almost looking like the greatest running back of all time. Like in his first 2 years, I'm like, yo, just give him the ball.
Right. And Dak at that point wasn't where he is right now. At that point, he was a game manager.
Dak. I don't even think Dak was a game manager. Dak was just hey, you want to take the snaps? Hey, yo, go ahead, give him the ball. That's
No,
who Dak was.
Leave. Here's the reason why I say he was a game manager at that point, because you didn't really have to ask Dak to do that much, but hand the football to Zeke. And on top of that, you look at what they had offensively. Jason Witten was getting up there in age.
Mm-hmm.
Dez regress. I mean, Bryce
Mm-hmm.
Butler was their only deep threat that they really had. So it's not like Dak was surrounded with great weapons. He had a great offensive line and Zeke at that point.
Yeah, definitely. But the funniest thing I could tell, like a Cowboys fan as a Packer fan, Dez didn't catch that ball. That's
Yeah,
the
it wasn't a
funniest.
catch. At the time, it wasn't a catch. If it were today's rules, yeah,
If
it
it
was a
was
catch.
today's rules, nah. I just tell them straight up, Dez didn't catch the ball, bro. No, it wasn't.
Well, I know
And they
you.
get
Well, you
mad
want
at
to piss them off. Yeah, I
yeah,
know
they
you
get
want to
mad
do
at
that.
me every time, bro. I'm like, yo, bro, Dez didn't catch that ball, bro. Like, listen, Aaron Rodgers' record against the Cowboys is so superior. Like, oh man,
Uh,
now that he's gone, I'm just like, all right, what is going to be our record against the Cowboys now? Oh, I forgot. When we had backup quarterbacks, we were still beating the Cowboys. So even when they had Tony Romo, so
Patrick said Niners didn't draft really well. Kyle Shanahan is the perfect coach, and personnel are on the same page. John Lynch is the coach's coach. Unlike Jerry, John Lynch doesn't meddle in everything, and that's a fact. Leaf, you
that is
can't
a
even
fact.
argue with that. The problem with Jerry Jones is that he wants it to be all about him.
Yes,
Jerry Jones, unlike most owners, he talks. He does
yes,
press conferences, has his own radio show,
yes,
sometimes says the craziest shit ever.
yes, yes,
But
yes. That's the
Jerry
thing.
loves entertaining fans. I mean, Dallas is not, they're not just any NFL franchise. They are America's team in terms of popularity, branding, and all that
I
other
would say
stuff.
they were America's team, man. Like then the Patriots beat them out of that, and now it's basically Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? So like any team with lineage could be America's team. They became America's team when they were winning. That's the thing was when they were winning in the 70s, and when the 80s came, they regressed, and then in the 90s they brought it back with Aikman, Emmett, and Michael Irvin. So they were America's team. That's what
Yeah,
they were.
Patrick said, "Don't
And
remind him. This still pains me as a Cowboys fan. I nearly threw my remote into the TV. That's more painful than Michael Irvin's career-ending injury versus Philly." Ugh.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, yo, you cannot tell me. Listen, you a Washington fan. You can't tell me you don't live to piss off Cowboys fans, bro. Like that is
Oh, I
like the
love it.
most
Oh, I love
that
it.
that is the most thrilling thing as any football fan, bro. Like I don't like, especially for Giants and Eagles fans. Oh man, they just like, you know what?
Listen, it doesn't matter whoever is facing the Cowboys. As long as the Cowboys lose, it's a
Yes,
win for me.
yes,
It's a win
yes,
for
yes.
everybody because of their fan
Absolutely.
base. Patrick, I'm not hard on Pat. I think Pat, unlike Barry, who does a great job on the Grid Network, Barry, my problem with him is that he's too delusional. Other Cowboys fans, they're delusional. The Skip Bayless's. I love
Oh
Ashley
man.
Nicole Moss on I Am Athlete. She does a great job, but she's too damn biased when it comes to her Cowboys.
Yes,
She
he
holds
is.
holds no accountability. My
Yes.
problem with Dallas heading into the 2023 season, Mike McCarthy is going to be calling the plays. We all know Kellen Moore is no longer the offensive coordinator. He's now the new offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. He will do a better job with Justin Herbert. I
Uh-huh.
believe he will do a better job with him than what he had with Dak Prescott because Justin Herbert is the superior talent.
Yes, he is.
But
Yes, he
when you
is.
look at Mike McCarthy, you had him, Leaf. He was your head coach. He worked with two generational talents in Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. And when he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have those quarterbacks, what is he? I mean, he didn't really call the plays on offense. Hold up, we got our boy Desto, man. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? I appreciate you sending me the
That's
link.
that's
Yeah,
what's good, bro.
Salute, Leaf.
yeah.
What
What's
up,
going
fellas?
on?
Desto, before, we're gonna wrap up this subject, and we're gonna talk about how you feel about the Commanders news and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Dallas, when you look at Dallas, Leaf and Desto, Mike McCarthy is going to be calling the plays on offense now, something that he never did again during his time with Dallas the first couple of seasons. Dan Quinn has done his part as with the defense. Kellen Moore, before he departed, did his thing with the offense. So Mike McCarthy has a lot to prove, and I've said it before, and I said it again. He's just nothing more than a product of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers because when he doesn't have those great quarterbacks, what is he? He doesn't lead. He doesn't motivate the team. The reason why he got the job because of Jerry. Jerry invited him over to his crib for beer and nachos, and
And he
and
spent the
Jerry
night for a
gave him
few
the
nights
job.
and all that.
So invited him over his crib for bed nachos. Oh.
Yeah, but that's the type of person. No, Leaf. That's the Jerry's is the type of buddy you want to hang out with. He's the type of person. He if you do, as long as you do what he says, he's gonna give you a job. Explain Jason Garrett all them years. He treated him like he was his son.
Because he was a yes man.
He was,
That's
and that's
that's
who Mike
exactly what
McCarthy
Jerry
is.
Jones want.
Yeah.
So Desto,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about the Commanders, the new ownership of the team. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, I felt like it was Tom, the previous owner. I can't remember his name.
Danny
Snyder, right?
Snyder. Yeah, Dan
It was
Snyder.
Snyder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some some things going on. I don't really want to speak on, but I feel like it was time they had a name change from few years ago. Um, I think it's important for them to now get some correct ownership. If I'm not mistaken, isn't Magic Johnson one of the owners?
Yeah, he's
Uh,
with Josh Harris, yes. So
okay,
he's going to be
yeah,
involved with it as well.
yeah. I think it's a good move. I think the organization can now move in the right direction. Next is Dolan with the Knicks. So
Yeah, well, it ain't going to happen anytime soon though, unfortunately. The only way I
yeah,
can
but
see Dolan departing the Knicks is that he gets involved in a serious scandal and leave. you and I, we know the Anuka Brown Sanders situation. Had that happened in today, Dolan would have been perceived entirely differently, and there may be a better chance of him departing.
Absolutely, at 100%. Because, like, listen, when they listen, I felt like when they got rid of Sterling from the Clippers, I felt like that was one of them things. All right, yo, it was a kind of a long time coming thing because nobody knew about Sterling in the '90s because the Clippers was basically in the shitter. Even the Suns, a former owner, that happened kind of quick because all he needed was one incident and that was out of there too. So I think the NFL is a little bit behind when it comes to the NBA, man. Like they kind of like, all right, yo, we gonna still keep we gonna pay more players, but we still gonna keep our power. You know, like in terms of the owners and all of that shit, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause the thing is, Roger Goodell and Adam Silver, they are not the same. They not the same. They don't think the same, man. They thinking, all right, yo, listen, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Like the Roger Goodell is more like, all right, yo, we're gonna do this, but yo, we gonna make sure they know. And then Adam Silver's like, oh, okay, man, let's see what's trending. So each one of them like kind of got their own issues, you know what I'm saying? So
right,
you kind of see it in the way that the league shapes out and their league shapes out, or how the NFL and the NBA shapes out. So
right.
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're absolutely right about that Sanders thing. If that happened with Dolan, his ass is out of there.
Yeah, the reason why he got a pass with it is because again, this came out in the mid 2000s. So now in 2023 or 2024, I think there's some noise from the background, man. No, it's all good. But yeah, speaking about Anuka Brown Sanders, that happened in the mid 2000s, and there wasn't really that much social media. I mean, now with social media, with TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all over the news, and with also these movements, the Me Too movement, the Time's Up movements, and stuff like that, James Dolan would have been perceived differently. The reason why that Anuka Brown Sanders departed is because Dolan improperly fired her. He claimed that it was her incompetence that led to her termination, but that was never the case. Ultimately, Isaiah Thomas was accused of calling Anuka Brown Sanders bitch and hoe to her face. Ultimately, there was a trial.
Wow.
He was found liable, and Dolan awarded her $11.5 million. Dolan still to this day that Anuka Brown Sanders, now Anuka Brown, was lying. She wasn't telling the truth. They believed that the jury got it wrong. He was right. Anuka Brown Sanders was wrong. This is according to Ian O'Connor, who did a huge article back in 2018. So if you want to take the chance to read that up, he did a great piece on James Dolan. So let me read these last couple of comments. This is what Pat said. If Jerry had kept Jimmy, we own the 90s, but eye test, my team was in their apex. Barry Switzer benefited from inheriting a team who went to back-to-back Super Bowls. And that was the worst mistake that ever happened with the Dallas Cowboys, by firing Jimmy Johnson and replacing him with Barry Switzer and winning a Super Bowl. That gave Jerry Jones the validation. I don't need a great head coach. I don't need a great GM. I can do it my way. And Jerry's been doing it his way for 2.5 decades, almost 30 years, and still no Super Bowls, no Super Bowl appearances, no conference championship appearances. And that's been the problem with the Cowboys. Pat continued, Troy Aikman doesn't hold back in discussing the Cowboys. He still has a disdain in his heart to how Jerry fired Jimmy. Even when Jimmy got introduced into the Hall of Fame, Jerry made sure we didn't forget about him. No, absolutely. I mean, Troy Aikman loves himself some Jimmy Johnson. He still holds it to this day on how the way Jerry treated Jimmy and how Jerry fired him. And he ruined something that should have been great. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys dynasty should have continued for so long. And
that should to continue for the whole decade, realistically. We didn't have no business winning the Super Bowl in '96 against New England. I don't know how we went out of there because the 49ers still have Steve Young.
Right.
And they still had Troy Aikman. They still had good years left on them. The fact that we somehow came out of the end, and this was around the time when I first started becoming a fan of the Packers, like 95, mid-90s. Right. I don't know how the hell we won the Super Bowl that year, and how we even got back, and most importantly against Elway, and we lost that. I thought we were supposed to win that Super Bowl.
Yeah, no question. And Pat continued, when Adam Silver took over as a commissioner, his first big assignment was getting rid of Donald Sterling. That was a learning curve for and statement for the NBA. Yeah, but I still felt like Donald Sterling should have been fired a long time ago. I mean, it's Donald Sterling. We all knew he was a racist. It's just that he got caught, and the fact
once
that
they found proof,
that
was a deal breaker right there.
Right, and then once everyone discovered who Donald Sterling is, his history, all of a sudden the NBA, they had no other choice but to move on from him. So, but he should have been let go a long time ago, in my opinion.
He should have. He definitely should have. Hey, check this out. Like, there's a lot of sequences like that. Look, there was a documentary called "Let Them Wear Towels." It was basically like about women reporters. The former CEO and owner of the Patriots before Taft. It was a chick that was trying to sue and whatever because she had came in the locker room. Dudes was exposing herself to her. Then she went on TV. He goes in a newspaper. He says "classic bitch," and basically like he was a clear cut racist, biggest like anti-feminist, that type of dude. And this was in the 90s. This was in the 90s, early 90s and everything. Nobody really did nothing about that during the time. So you could get yourself jammed up messing around with Instagram and leaving messages on Twitter and shit like that. You know, because that's how social media.
Whatever comes into the dark always comes into light.
Yep, social media gets you jammed up quick. So
right.
They quick to cancel you.
Right.
Oh yeah, anything you do now.
They quick to cancel you now, man. Like that whole, if you anti-feminist or anti-Me Too movement, listen, you're gonna need a lot more help because there's a lot of that. It's a lot of that going on YouTube, man. Like
you got to be pro this, you got to be pro everything,
and
you
can't do none of that shit, man. You got to So this is one of the reasons why I don't record too much because I'm very non-filtered. So it's not about what I believe in or what I don't believe in. I just know I'm like some of this shit is just bogus. I'm like I ain't gonna really speak on it, but if I do say something about it, man, I'm probably gonna fuck around and get canceled. So I said shit on other people's channels to get them canceled, man. Like so, I'm like, no, let me not cancel my shit.
And you know what it really is. Like I don't think the executives and the people who make the decisions of the people that's being suspended or fired or banned or whatever the case may be. I don't know if they really care about the group of people that's being affected. I just think they care about maintaining that fan base. You know, if like Donald Sterling was a racist, but if Adam Silver never did anything, it's not that I'm not saying Adam Silver cares about black people or he doesn't care about black people, but if Adam Silver never addressed that, the fear was losing a lot of the black fan base, and that's probably the biggest market of the game of basketball. So I think that's what opens my eyes when I see those things. I don't know if they really care about the group that's being affected by these, remarks or statements or whatever. I think they just care about the revenue that these groups provide them.
Yeah. All right, fellas. One last subject, and we gotta wrap it up. Start, bench, or cut. We're gonna do tight ends. Desto, I'm gonna let you go first. Start, bench, or cut between Antonio Gates, Travis Kelce, and Tony Gonzalez. And you can do it however you want to do it, based on their peak, prime, whatever case.
Man, that's a tough three right there, bro. You said
that's easy.
Gates,
Travis Kelce and Tony Gonzalez. Yeah.
All right. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna start Tony Gonzalez.
Okay. Who you benching?
Oh, damn. You got to start with me, man.
That's I think you're lagging a little bit. All right. We'll see if we can try to get Desto back. Hold on.
Could y'all hear me?
No, now we can hear you. Desto, you there? I think we lost.
Hey.
Yeah, Desto. Now we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Hey, Lee, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Okay, you said
Sound
start
like you're going
Tony
in and out,
Gonzalez. You said start Tony
what about
Gonzalez.
now?
Desto. Yeah, now we can hear you. Desto, you said start Tony Gonzalez. So who are you benching? Tony, Travis Kelce or Gates?
Yeah, my bad. My internet was tripping. But I'm gonna start Tony Gonzalez. I'm gonna bench Gates. I'm gonna cut Trav.
Wow, you cut Travis Kelce?
I'm cutting Trav, man.
Why?
Maybe it's the nostalgia. I grew up watching Tony Gonzalez and Gates. Trav a receiver, man. He cold, but he a receiver. So that's the only thing. But hey, you could start either one. You can bench either one. It's I don't know. They all great, but that's my three right there.
All right, start Tony, bench Gates, cut Trav. Leaf, what says you?
I say start Kels. Nah, what do I want to? You know what? Start Tony. Bench Travis, even though I think Travis will someday be the best tight end of all time. And I'm gonna have to cut Antonio because realistically, Antonio he should have been playing basketball. He should have been really
was very
good
during his college basketball days.
Yeah, he should
have.
Antonio Gates was a raw ass hooper. Not to say that Tony G wasn't, but out of the dudes that should have been hooping, Antonio Gates was one like a raw ass hooper, bro. I don't think he like the NFL career that he carved out. Don't get me wrong, by the numbers, it was definitely a Hall of Fame career, but I don't think he was ever better than Tony G or Travis Kelce, man. Travis Kelce is on his way to being undoubtedly the best tight end of all time. If this keeps up. So I'm gonna start Tony G for now, man, because Tony G was that guy at tight end, man. Like I can't, man. Like I think he was I think he was more talented than Shannon.
Better than Shannon?
Yeah, I think he was I think he had more talent than Shannon. I don't know if he was
who's more talented than Shannon?
Antonio Gates he was talking about.
Not Tony G.
Oh, Tony G.
Oh yeah.
I mean Tony G. I mean he was productive. I mean other than Matt Ryan, and that was when Tony G was in Atlanta, but in Kansas City, he didn't really have that great of a quarterback like Kelce had with Mahomes.
He had Elvis Gerback and Trent Green.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
I mean, and he was producing.
Exactly.
So for me, I would start Gonzalez. I would bench Kelce, and I cut Gates. I think Gonzalez and Kelce, athletic side, I think they're better athletes than Gates is. I mean, Kelce is more wiggle. He has that elusiveness. Tony, I mean, he can do whatever he wants with it. Gates is great. I'm not taking anything away from Gates, but to cut Trav, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you want to say that Gates had better hands than Kelce,
okay. Gates played with the same quarterback his whole career.
He had Drew Brees for a little bit, and then he had Phillip Rivers
for basically his whole career.
Yeah, basically his whole career. And he also had another great weapon on offense, a first ballot Hall of Famer in LaDainian Tomlinson. So he definitely had that. But for me, I bench Gonzalez. I start Gonzalez. I bench Trav, and I cut Gates. And Pat said start Kelsey, bench Gonzalez, and cut Gates. All right, folks.
Yeah, I respect that. Sure.
Yeah, I respect it. No, it's all good, man.
I was about to start Kelsey. I was like, no.
No, the reason why you would start Kelsey is because you think he's on his way to becoming the best.
No, we know he's on his way to becoming that. There's no doubt about it.
Right. Some people will still argue Gronkowski because what Gronkowski was, but Kelsey, the edge he has over him, greatness, but also the availability part. So I think Kelsey does have the edge there. Gronk's only problem was durability. Gronk could do everything else. Gronk could block. Gronk could was athletic. He was a force to be reckoned with at that point. So Kelsey has a chance to be called the greatest tight end ever.
Yes, he does. Yes,
all right, folks. That concludes the rest of the episode. Any final comments? Leaf, I'm gonna let you go first. Where to follow your fan base and more, man.
Follow me at my thing is underneath. Actually, I put it underneath finally. It's IG at
IG Leaf _4788
4788 or at Twitter and YouTube at Leaf 4788. Make sure y'all watch that Will Chamberlain documentary. It's called Goliath. It's a 3-part series on Showtime. And other news, there could be a possible trade for OG Anunoby to the Orlando Magic. OG Anunoby to the Orlando Magic. I don't know who for and who's gonna be in the deal, but OG Anunoby possibly to the Orlando Magic. I think that would be interesting. I think that would add another dynamic, but look out for that too. NFL
to Leaf bomb.
Yeah. NFL season coming soon. I got the Falcons on the up and up, man. Falcons gonna have a hell of a season.
Now we talk about NFL season. We forgetting about college football season. College football season is also coming too.
Yeah, man. I ain't been big on college football since Vic was on Virginia Tech, bro. That's when I was real excited about that shit.
Dang,
he excited the hell out of me, bro. Like I was just like, God damn.
The last time I was really into college football was probably when like Lamar was in college.
Lamar was pretty good too, but Vic was so good. He was injuring players off of shaking them, bro. Like that's what he was doing. That's how
I would probably say my favorite college moment was Cam when he won the Heisman at Auburn. Cam was the most dominant football player in college football. I mean, he didn't have no talent to work with. I mean, Leaf, even though Tim Tebow is the more decorated college football player, because of what he accomplished, but he had a gang load of talent.
Yes, he did.
Brothers,
he did. Aaron Hernandez.
Percy Harvin.
Chris Harvin. Yeah. He had a gang of talent.
Crazy. You look like everything how it turned out. That roster crazy.
That roster was crazy. I say, other than Bo Jackson, Cam Newton was probably the most dominant college football player like that. That was probably that will like people will remember for like the next 10, 20, 25 years.
All right. Y'all know where to follow Leaf. Desto, where to follow you, my man?
Oh, you can catch me right there. I put it right under my name. It's at Desto. I'm also at Dodo Pod. Yesterday we do basketball podcast. We're talking about the off season, talking about Team USA, talking about the summer league. So, you can catch me right there. I appreciate you letting me on PSP. I know I got to catch the flight in the morning, but I had to come pull up and mess with my board real quick. I appreciate those support, so I got to support you as well.
Anytime, man. Thank you for hopping on, man. You're always more than welcome to hop on the podcast. Where are you heading?
Oh, I'm headed back home. I was had to visit some family, but I'm headed back to Houston tomorrow morning.
Oh no, that's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, H-Town ain't nothing better to be, man. H-Town, that's what's up, man.
Yes,
take it easy, Desto, man. You enjoy the rest of your day, man. Get home safe, all right?
Hey, man, you too.
All right, man. Thank you. All right, folks. That concludes the rest of the episode. I appreciate the panel. I appreciate my guys, Leaf and Desto, for hopping on. I also appreciate the comments from Ryan and also Patrick and also my man Dev for hopping on. Y'all more than welcome to hop on a Sports PSP podcast. If you want to follow me, folks, sorry, wrong one. For the overlay, the Sports PSP podcast, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, my Instagram, Sports PSP, as well as my TikTok, Sports PSP3. Please go like and subscribe to my YouTube, IG, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and much more, folks. Like I said, folks, I talked about the Washington Commanders. We also talked a little bit about the NFL, some other things. Start bench or cut between Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, and Travis Kelce. Leaf said he would start Tony Gonzalez, bench Travis Kelce, cut Antonio Gates. Desto said start Tony Gonzalez, bench Antonio Gates, cut Travis Kelce. I'm with more Leaf side on there. So we discussed a lot of things around the NFL and more importantly, the Washington Commanders. Dan Snyder is no longer the owner of the team. Thank God. So Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, you got to give them time in order for them to figure out and turn around the franchise and much more. So, and I hope they tank the rest of the season to get Caleb Williams or Drake May, because as Ryan's point, you're only going to go as far as with your quarterback, and they have everything with a solid D line and wide receiver group. They just need to improve with the offensive line and much more. But anyway, folks, it's your boy Sports PSP. Go like and subscribe to Desto and Leaf. Also, again, like I keep making the same mistake again, folks. I'm sorry. Go like and subscribe to my YouTube, Facebook, IG, Twitter, all that other stuff, man. It's right there. Go check me out. New episode will come on tomorrow night. We're going to discuss more NFL stuff, particularly with the Madden ratings and also with which one to marry. I did the one on Jada Pinkett Smith, Kim Kardashian. We're going to do something different. Which one of the four would you rather marry or be in a relationship with? And it's going to be nice. So anyway, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. And as usual, God bless.